Welcome back to the news at 10. Officials of the Petroleum Products Pricing Agency, PPPRA, plan to turn its searchlight on fuel stations located in the heart of the Federal Capital Territory to check irregularities associated with pricing of petroleum products. Head of Corporate Services of the agency, Mr. Lanre Oladele, has also vowed to clamp down on marketers who sell the products above the official price of 86 naira 50 kobo per litre.
The past few days for motorists in the country have no doubt been stress-free at filling stations. There now seems to be enough petrol to buy. But inasmuch as this result has been achieved, officials of the Petroleum Products Pricing Agency in the Federal Capital Territory were on supervision at some fuel stations to assess the situation. Their first port of call is Giri, in the outskirts of the city centre. And this is what they find. Spokesperson for the agency warns against hike in prices of petroleum products.
I was selling at 86 and the rest are selling at 650. With that one, that has stabilized. But we are not unaware of certain sharp practices that are going on in some remote areas, and those were the areas we succeeded in busting these past 2 weeks, and that was one of the reasons why you discover that people started selling, because initially they were locking up the products, they were locking them up.
From Giri, the team then moved to Kwali. While some of the fuel stations were seen dispensing the products to motorists, some were not even selling at all.
We are grateful for the scarcity that reduced. This is our prayer, and we pray that it should continue like this, because everybody is enjoying it. Because where there is scarcity, everybody struggles. Both the customer, they are not enjoying it. Even with ourselves, we are not enjoying it.
We have a 2-tanker standby, so we are waiting for the sun to come down for us to discharge.
For now, there seems to be an improvement in the supply of petroleum products across the country. One thing, however, that needs to be checked is pricing. Nigerians will be watching to see if appropriate sanctions will be meted out to marketers who refuse to play by the rules.
The Nasarawa state government has been speaking about how to develop the state in the face of ongoing global economic downturn. Governor Tanko Almakura, at a forum in the state, told participants that there will be room for contributions from critical stakeholders on how best to improve internally generated revenue of the state.
It's an interactive forum organized by the Nasarawa state government. The objective is to brief participants on the policies, programs and challenges the state is facing, and also to rub minds on how to move the state forward. Governor Tanko Almakura says this event is coming at the right time, as it will provide a forum for a robust discussion. Governor Almakura goes on to debunk claims by the ICPC that the bailout fund given to Nasarawa State was misappropriated.
Given the downturn of economic opportunities in the country, the federal government has come handy in supporting states. To say categorically that neither the state nor the local government is having its bailout money kept anywhere. It has already been paid and it has been utilized.
Some participants present here are of the view that the public service salary structure should be reviewed. Others are asking the state government and labor unions to dialogue on how to scale through. Organized labor on its part says all the ventures should be harnessed and diversification should be looked into to improve the internally generated revenue of the state.
Why not security vote? Why not diversify the economy? We have companies that were abandoned. I once said this before one of my media channels. We have the fertilizer blending plant, we have the leather, something at Akwanga, and so many of them.
The consensus here is that the proximity of the state to the nation's capital shall afford the Nasarawa state government the opportunity to explore the huge land and investment opportunities in Karu, Kefi, Maraba Nyanya access to increase revenue.
Securing customer base is consistently part of businesses, and entrepreneurs across all sectors explore this strategy through various means. One of such means is electronic commerce or e-commerce, which has now also been introduced to the road transport sector. Our correspondent Tempo Ashado tells us more in this report.
Recent advancements in information technology have been revolutionizing communications in Nigeria, as the internet now becomes a major catalyst employed by entrepreneurs across all sectors to enhance business. Technically called electronic commerce, entrepreneurs leverage this platform to deal on products and services.
What we're doing is to take advantage of the prevalence of broadband to champion an e-commerce business model, a subscription model that is profitable, sustainable, repeatable and transferable.
E-commerce is well known in the aviation sector for online bookings, but replicating this trend in the road transport subsector becomes more amazing to travelers.
It's actually nice because I don't have to queue up in a terminal to get a ticket. So I just feel, okay, whenever I want to travel, I just pick up my phone, book ticket, and make it easy for me. Again, so I think I enjoy it.
Yeah, the online booking is nice. It helps in terms of maybe you want to book in advance. You do that because of time factor.
For transporters, the need to attract smart travelers through aesthetics was the motivation for e-commerce platform.
Our ambition is to make road transportation easy, simple, safer and better for Nigerians. And using technology basically to simplify our processes and our operation, and using technology to make the processes and the travel experience better and easier for our customer is part of our focus. And that's why we're here today, to basically use mobile and online technology to make it easier for our customers to travel.
But how reliable is this innovation?
We do have issues because of network issue, because network is not steady, all that, as long as this country is concerned. So except that something is done about that, they will be free for that.
We have a server that's running 24 hours, 7 days a week, as in 24/7. We got IT personnel constantly monitoring the platform, transactions are going on, to be sure that whenever you have there's no bridge in connection between the server and the end user. And the situation where we have users where they try booking and they have a failed booking, immediately we communicate to the customer care persons to put the call across to the customers and know their challenges and how to help them resolve those problems.
In 2009, internet users grew from 3.1% to 16.1% in Nigeria. Despite these improvements and potentials, challenges such as infrastructure, security, taxation, privacy concerns, and the residual distrust of online payments remain the hurdles to the country's e-commerce space. Temple Ashaju, Channels Television News.
Joining me now on the news at 10 to talk more about this is B. Oladipo. He's an ICT expert. Good evening to you and welcome to the news at 10.
Good evening.
So, in that report, we see that the challenges still are infrastructure, trust, and security. But despite that, why do you think sectors are embracing this trend, this e-commerce?
Okay, it's pretty straightforward. The world is changing, and one of the changes that we have in the world is the fact that everything is moving from your normal brick and mortar into online medium, and there's no way we can be left behind. And I always tell people that the biggest branch that your company can have will simply be on the internet.
But then, you know, the challenges associated with it, there's trust challenges, and there have been issues, and there have been times when customers have been defrauded. How do you get around that as well?
Well, as far as trust is concerned, the truth is it grows. It would grow. A lot of times people ask me, well, if I give my money to someone and then the person disappears, what do I do? So what we need to do is strengthen the legal framework that guides online trading and online transactions. But in terms of whether we should play on the internet, we don't have a choice. We have to.
Okay, so it seems as if the road transporters have also decided to embrace it and have started applying their businesses online as well. What do you make of this? Do you think this will improve their visibility, for instance, because that's the reason why most people go online anyway, to market their businesses?
Okay, first of all, online, putting your business online, yes, there's a part of the visibility, but there's also the part of the business itself. In actual fact, what you're doing is you're setting up a branch of your business online when you put your business online. And the road transporters don't have a choice but to move to that platform. And if you ask me, it's long overdue. If you look at what's happening in the aviation sector, there's hardly any airline, whether in Nigeria or outside Nigeria, that doesn't have an online platform in which you can book for tickets, do things that make reservations, reserve, as much as even checking online. It's only in this part of the world where you check in online, you still have to go and check in at the airport. But in most parts of the world, you check in online, you just walk straight into the aircraft, and that's how it is. The road transporters are also trying to emulate the same, which is something that is a very good development.
But then another thing that has actually come up is the issue with regards capacity, broadband and data usage. Do you think that we have our hands on fixing these issues?
Okay, that's a very interesting question, and my take on that is we started from somewhere and we're somewhere today. Before the telecoms revolution in 99-2000, we had less than 500,000 telephone lines in Nigeria, and today we know where we are. If you take the number of people who are connected by phone lines, they're bigger than most countries in the world. And then in terms of internet and broadband penetration, we've started from somewhere. Today we have over 100 million people connected to the internet in Nigeria. And if you look at that, that's something. Yes, we might not be at the broadband point, but we're getting somewhere.
Thank you so much for joining me on the news at 10.
All right, thank you.
We're still talking business, and Anne Nwawodo joins us now. She's in our business studios with the day's business news.
Hello and welcome to Business News. Public finance was one more issue discussed at the Platform Abuja 2016 today, with a focus on facilitating growth in Nigeria through personnel capacity and productivity. Resource persons who spoke on agriculture and digital technology, which they believe can be a perfect option to oil if well explored. Our correspondent Omelogo Nadi reports.
Tapping overlooked resources. That's what resource persons here at the forum harped on for over 5 hours to encourage more than 3,000 youths present to finally rise up to the task of empowering themselves while waiting for governments to do their bit. Among the areas highlighted are digital technology and the entertainment industry.
It is just not possible for government to create the employment we need in the time frame that we need to have it. Therefore, as citizens of this country, we need to think differently about how we can get ourselves employed. And all I'm saying this afternoon is that digital technology creates a low entry barrier for those of you who will invest time to understand what happens in that space.
Before we talk about the potentials in the entertainment industry, we need to first look at why we have untapped potentials. And one of it, as has been explained to you, is crude oil. The second is the problem with military regimes. The third is the politics of selfishness. Another one is tribalism. And then the crave for quick money.
It is not the first time that the fall in oil prices will be tagged an advantage for Nigeria's economy. But this agro-business expert asserts that a crop like cassava can give Nigeria biofuel, ethanol and oil, but remains untapped because of crude oil.
Cassava has 54 uses. In actual fact, you get oil biofuel and ethanol from cassava. Brazil is one of the biggest producers in the world, but they produce only about 11% or 12% of the world's cassava. Nigeria produces 40%. We don't even have an ethanol plant in Nigeria.
Nigeria's poor data culture is said to make diversification of the economy an uphill task without a data revolution. One of the speakers says corruption would remain unless data is made available and accessible.
If we really want to fight corruption, you democratize data. Everybody sees it. If everybody knew that Dasuki was collecting money as they alleged, we wouldn't be in this lot of mess that we have as a country. Because we just favor secrecy. We see governance as a drive for secrecy. And that's why I believe, until you break the mode of secrecy about public finance, you are not fighting corruption. You are not. All you are doing, like Taiwo, you are fighting corrupt persons. You are not fighting corruption.
The issues highlighted at this forum serve as a call to action to the youths of Nigeria to look around them, find niches to fill, and to build businesses that would create jobs for majority of Nigerians until government is set to play its part. Omelogo, Nadi Channels Television.
Unfortunately, we have such a short.
Average interbank rate contracted by 63 basis points, falling to 8.54%, and that's from 9.17% in the previous week. The week's inflows from statutory allocations and maturing treasury bills were met with outflows through sales of OMO auctions totaling 95.71 billion naira and an undisclosed amount for CBN's weekly forex intervention window. Rates eased as the week opened following anticipation of FAC inflows, which eventually hit the system alongside forex refunds on Tuesday. The overnight 1-month, 3-month and 6-month rates contracted, closing at 3.68%, 8.20%, 10.39% and 12.04% each. And that's Business News Tonight. Thank you for watching. I'm Anne Nwawadu. Harriet to be back with the rest of the news at 10.
Thank you, Anne. Next on the news at 10, hundreds of Iraqi Shia Muslims breached Baghdad's fortified green zone for the first time, seizing control of parliament in protest over a political deadlock.